Welcome everybody. Welcome to another Horror Talk. Welcome. I apologize. Usually my shows are at 10 a.m. Today had some things to do, so I made it at 9 p.m. But why not? We're just chatting anyway, right? We're having fun, talking horror. What else we need? A little cup of coffee. I have my sword here somewhere. I think one of the Annabelle dolls must have grabbed my sword because it's missing. Oh, no, here it is. Got my sword. Make sure you have a weapon. You have some coffee because you never know what's behind the curtain. Welcome, everybody. I'm happy to see you guys. I'm happy who's ever watching. D Live, I want to say hello. I see D Live's up. A couple people are watching from D Live. Facebook, welcome. Oh, let me turn that volume down. That's bad of me. I apologize. That's unprofessional, right? That's unprofessional. All right, guys. Tonight we're talking Annabelle from the Conjuring series, right? I mean, Annabelle is technically considered a true story that it's its own case file. But I mean, the Conjuring, the first Conjuring, in the first scene of the movie, the first part of the movie, they did a Annabelle, which they probably knew they could do a spinoff on it if it was successful. I mean, they didn't know it was successful. It was kind of a cool little short little story of Annabelle, and it's one of my favorite dolls. You know, if you see behind me, you can see that there's two Annabelles, right? The original Annabelle, of course, is the Raggedy Ann doll. The other Annabelle is the basically uglier doll because, first of all, why didn't they use the original Annabelle doll? I mean, first of all, it doesn't look scary at all for a movie, but also they didn't have the rights to even use the original Raggedy Ann doll. I mean, in the beginning, you know, if they're saying, hey, we're making a movie called The Conjuring, what they never heard of, you know, you're not gonna have them, you know, Raggedy Ann. You're probably afraid of they're gonna ruin your cells. You know what I mean? So you're really not gonna see. And now, saying all that, after I'm trying to remember, was it not? There was a second Annabelle, Annabelle Creations. At the end, there's a cool little scene where they open up a bag and they actually goes, "We got this girl a present." I'm not gonna tell you about the movie yet. You know, it was a Raggedy Ann doll. So they actually did use the original Raggedy Ann doll as Annabelle as a little prop. I mean, it wasn't, you know, it was a little prop, but you know, you gotta have a scary Annabelle. You gotta have a scary. I mean, I would love to see the Raggedy Ann, but it is what it is. Now, if you have not seen it yet, remember, with every episode of Horror Talk, I make a music video for it. So make sure I have it in the link. It's already in, you know, it's over there. I have it up in the link. You just go up there and click on it. And or you go to my Reddit page, r/Gypsy Road. You can actually get the Annabelle music video, Slaughter, Loaded Gun. That was very fun to do. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it too. Hopefully you like the music that I'm picking for it. If you don't, I understand. I get it. I mean, you know, it is what it is. So and all that. So all right. Annabelle. Let me take that screen off. First of all, is Annabelle a true story? Is it? Good question, huh? Well, let's see. Let's look here. Let's look here. Inside the real Annabelle doll's true story of terror. So basically, Annabelle is based on a true story. The true story of the original Annabelle doll began when she terrorized her first owner in 1970, forcing Ed and Lorraine Warren to take her to the occult museum for safekeeping. So right now, she sits in a glass case bearing a hand-carved inscription of the Lord's Prayer while a pleasant smile rests on her face, happy face, sitting under a mop of red hair. But beneath the case is a sign that reads, "Warning, positively do not open. So, Annabelle, can you post a stream? Would love to join in. Yeah, sure. Sure. You're probably the only one watching. You're probably the only one watching. So, more the merrier, right? We can just talk to each other because nobody else is here. But like I said, usually it's at 10 a.m., so I don't care. It's all for fun. So, Annabelle, the real story. So, let me stop it here. Let me share the screen for a second. I'm going to pull up Patrick Wilson. Patrick Wilson is the actor who played Ed Warren in the movie. This little clip here, it's not a clip of a movie at all. This is actually him seeing Annabelle at the Cult Museum for the first time. So let's take a look. And it's only like 55 seconds. So let's see let me see here. We go here. Here we go. Let me press play.
Hold on. Now we're going to do something cool.
Holy jeez. That is cool.
Hold on, let me get it.
So that's the real Annabelle doll.
You got it. I got you. I got you turned away. Looks good.
Amazing.
How does it come out when you do it?
Yeah.
Look good. Pretty wild.
Very well.
That is nice.
Yeah, very cool.
So, if we just hooked up like a tripod,
You did, yes.
so if we just hooked up like a tripod pointed at it, would it move? Would it ever move?
Well, with 0 people watching, we got Bigfoot up.
Hey, I know people will be watching this in the future, in the later times. You know,
well, it's just everybody knows. Usually, this horror talk show is at 10 a.m. But because I have some things to do, I moved it to 9. You know, people get used to a certain time, you know, for a show, and they're not used to another time because a lot of people watch us is actually from the UK and East Coast, and of course, the East Coast is like midnight. so a lot of people. So that was the little video clip of Patrick Wilson visiting Ed Lorraine for his first time. So I'm sure it's cool for the cast to actually go in there and see the doll for themselves. Now, but the story goes, you're not supposed to open the window. Of course, if we go through this museum, we're not going to be allowed to open it. It's not that it's open. You can't. The story goes, you can't touch the doll. If you touch the doll, that's when the doll can get possessed, can go after you, you know, go ape shit and on you. So it's if you touch the doll. So, and also, let me take this one off. And this might be fun for you two. I don't know if you've seen this clip at all. It's not a movie clip. This is actually, here, let me pull this up. This right here, this clip is actually, this guy's interviewing Ed Warren and Lorraine. Right now, it's like well, back in the day, before they died. You know, about the Annabelle must watch. So I fast forwarded to the part where they're going to talk about Annabelle. So you're going to hear the Annabelle story from the actual people who, you know, has it in their museum. Now, this guy right here who interviewing them is actually now in charge of their museum, their cult. So Annabelle doll actually belongs to him now.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. So I'll play a little bit, and you know, I'll pause it here and there, and we're here from the original people. So I don't know if you ever, Bigfoot, if you ever kind of follow Ed Lorraine Warren of when they're doing the case file, so you know what they look like and everything.
Oh yeah, of course. And
real,
I love cursed films too, so this is just right up my alley. Just because they had supernatural incidents on set of these movies, and they fall under the cursed films category. And there's so many dolls, and I've had my own experiences and reported on experiences of possessed dolls. So it all combines with fairies and supernatural and the other side of dimensions. So yeah, looking into the Ed and Lorraine Warren, you know, the Amityville Horror, everybody's heard of their cases, but maybe they haven't put a face to it.
Yeah, that's exactly, because when you see Ed playing the movie, Patrick Wilson's a handsome guy. We're straight, but Patrick Wilson's a handsome guy. The real Ed is not as handsome as Patrick Wilson. He's a little bigger guy, but he's like a guy like us. He's like one of us. So watch, here we go, guys. This is them talking about the Annabelle story.
Over the years. All right, I think one of the most famous would be Annabelle. This is a Raggedy Ann doll that's made like thousands of other dolls, except that this doll was used in communication, almost like having a seance. A nurse had received the doll 1971 as a present, Christmas present from her mother. And the doll stands about 3 foot high. And she would take it to bed with her at night. That's common enough for girls to do. I take a pillow. Some people take a doll. Girls would like that, even 28-year-old ones. And after a few nights, she lived with another girl who was a nurse. Both of them St. Hartford or Hartford Hospital.
Yeah, it was Hartford Hospital.
And
yeah, I'm just gonna pause it for a second. What's important about this story, so people need to realize that the two girls that's actually in the first scene of the movie The Conjuring. So if anybody's watching this, The Conjuring is what the part he's talking about, the two girls. The most important part is, now these two girls, they're nurses. So, you know, nurses know, they know to look out for craziness. You know, to be a nurse, you got to have a real important job. It's you know, you got to know what you're seeing, what you're knowing around you. You know your surroundings, because being a nurse, you know, it's life and death at a hospital. So these aren't just any two normal, you know, high school girls, partying girls. These are two respectable nurses that are living in this house. So that's why this story is, to me, has more weight, because nurses is an important position. You know that. I mean, nurses, these nurses are the difference between life and death, between the doctor coming to your room. So these aren't just high school party girls. These are actually real blue-collar workers. So I just want everybody to know that.
They were on the same shift, and so they worked together and lived together. They shared the expenses. And one morning she got this idea to bring the doll from the bedroom into the kitchen where they were having breakfast, and she put it in a chair. And she said, "Oh, Raggedy Ann here's going to have breakfast with us today," joking around. Okay, well, that was a joke. Then the next thing,
Bless you.
the next thing, she brought it down again the next morning and the next morning. But the third morning, they're talking to the doll, and the arms of the doll are on the chair like this. Suddenly they went up and onto the table. Now, this didn't frighten them. This intrigued them to the extent that the one nurse.
Now, will that frighten you? I'm just asking you, if you saw the hands go up on the desk, I'd probably be like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, I'd be terrified, because that shows a level of intelligence to do that, and a level of like, haha, you know, I'm in control now. Step into the plate, you know, sitting at the table. Scary stuff.
Yeah, that's what I like about the story, because they didn't show that in the movie. That's why I love hearing these stories. And then you kind of crisscross it with the movie and all that. So let's see what he says more.
Said to the other one of the nurses knows a medium. Let's ask her about this. I'll bet you there's a spirit in that doll. That's what they did. They asked this nurse about it, and she said, yeah. She said, I know a woman who was a medium. I'll bring her over, and we'll hold a seance. It was a joke. Just a game. But it didn't turn out to be a game. It turned out to be one of the most horrifying experiences they'd ever have in their life. And
now, before we go forward, what he's saying there is the same thing that I have heard a lot before, that people are playing with Ouija boards. And now I've done that too. I've played Ouija boards, but it's like the right time, right place. If you're doing something, you're inviting stuff in. I mean, I hear the stories all the time. Like, when did your ghost sighting starts to happen. When you know, and you always hear, oh, I started playing the Ouija board or going to the graveyard and you know, saying, you know, asking to talk to a spirit. I don't know. What have you kind of heard the same thing too?
Oh yeah. Once you invite, you know, something in, then it can really take over. You know, I was really just playing in my head. I'm like, hey, it's 11:15 right now. You know, it's going to be midnight during this show. Should I go in the bathroom and do Bloody Mary and have a little fun? But, you know, that could really open up hell for me. So I'm not sure, because back in the day we used to do light as a feather, stiff as a board, and then we'd do seances. We'd go in the graveyard, and it definitely opened up our minds and our soul to some dark things, and everything has consequences and repercussions.
Are you I was a little bit off topic. Are you actually working tomorrow? Or are you off tomorrow?
I'm working till 12 to 6, and then I'm going to a concert. Yeah, I am working tomorrow.
Oh, I'm just saying, because
tomorrow you're doing the EVP,
EVP
show soon.
I just received my digital voice recorder in the mail today, because I bought one, and we're gonna try to do it on air, like if there's something.
What time's the show at?
Well, I'm Pacific time, so 11 a.m. Pacific time.
11 a.m. Pacific time. Yeah, I'll be at work, but maybe you can send me the link, and, you know, I'll be at my shop. And my shop is actually in a haunted plaza, right down 2 doors down from us. We've had tons of encounters over at the barbershop. The ladies have had strange noises and weird figures on security cameras. So maybe I could stir up some energy from afar. Plus there's pictures of tons of horror stuff. So, you know, even if I could just pop in for a couple minutes, it might stir some energy up.
It'll be fun, because Bob himself is going to have his voice recorder going at his place at the same time, because he's claimed that where he lives, that there are hauntings there. So tomorrow, people, there's going to be a haunting kind of show. So maybe what you're saying here is me inviting somebody in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And
I have an EMF detector too, you know, and that picks up the electromagnetic fields and frequencies all around us. Now, and they do surround us. Now
that I don't have yet, you know, I'm getting piece by piece. I got my first piece here, and then so let's see what they say next.
I've talked with people just recently, as recent as 2 months ago, who know the two nurses, and even today they don't like to talk about it. They'll never come to our lectures. They don't want to talk about Raggedy Ann, Annabelle at all. So now the woman holds a seance, and she said, there's a spirit of a 6-year-old girl in that doll who was killed in an automobile accident just outside of your apartment house here. Well, there was a 6-year-old child by the name of Annabelle who was killed. But God does not allow the spirit of a child to go into a doll. This was a demon who was posing at.
So before I play the rest, that is interesting what he said there, that God won't allow a child to go. So I mean when I hear that, is he meaning that if I was an adult who dies that I can, but because I'm a child, God won't allow that? I'm not a religious person, but I've never really heard that before. I don't know if you're religious or not. I mean,
I'm not too religious, but it probably just has some kind of stipulations, and maybe along the lines of purity as well. But maybe that's just how Ed and Lorraine want to present it as well, too.
It could be, and that's why I love listening to these interviews and all that, because I always hear something I never really heard before. You know, like I said, I haven't read the Bibles and all that, so maybe somewhere in the Bible, maybe that's something I'll ask my brother tomorrow, because he has read the Bible a couple times, different Bibles. But yeah, I never heard because then what's the age limit of knowing from a child to a teenager?
Right. That's why I think it might just be like purity and, you know, innocence, and there's different levels of it, and age is not just the only one. You know, that the soul is forever, and you know, demons don't just pry on your human carcass. It's more of energy in your soul.
And I wish I could talk to James Wan, because James Wan is one who course, directed the Conjurings, and now he didn't direct every movie. I don't think he directed the Annabelles, but of course, he's a major producer, an executive producer. Because I don't know if they miscorrected the movie. Because if you think about it, you've seen all the Annabelle movies.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you think about the first Annabelle movie, it was the movie where the crazy neighbors, the nutty woman, the nutty guy coming over to the house to murder the people, and of course the lady grabbed the doll, and then of course she got killed, but she dropped blood onto the doll. So when I first saw that first Annabelle movie, I thought the doll got possessed from the devil from the woman bleeding onto it, because I don't know if you remember that scene. I mean, actually, if you guys watch my music video, part of my music video shows that woman bleeding inside the eye of Annabelle. And I thought maybe that's where the demon came in. But of course, Annabelle Creations came out. It was because that little girl died. So I don't know if that wasn't the direction they were going into, or was the doll always kind of possessed, but the blood just brought it back or something. I was always curious about that. I know that's a little nerdy, but I always think about movies. How come they don't line up perfectly? Because you know what I'm talking about?
And they try to connect it all in the third one. They definitely do, you know, coming home, and then it, you know, draws in all their stories. But I definitely agree with the first one. The way they made it, like, blood seep onto her, and I think it like glistened in her eye, you know, and it was very artistic. But yeah, it makes it seem like that's when the demonic transformation happens. But like you said, in Creations, you could see that it was all planned out and orchestrated from way beyond anything imaginable.
Yeah, because I'll show people what I'm kind of talking about. I'm not. I actually pulled this from my music video that I created. This is when this neighbor was holding her, and here, I'll play without the music. See if it shows the blood right there. See, the blood drops, and I thought when I first saw this, I thought maybe that's where the doll got possessed, because the death of the woman and eye drop. And I'm always wanted to know from the producers, directors, was that the original idea to do it before you guys decided that? Because technically this movie didn't do that well in the theater. It wasn't the I liked it, I enjoyed it, but a lot of the critics did not like this movie. So I'm wondering, Creation was just a kind of a new version of a soft reboot in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But even though, you know, I could interview them, that doesn't mean they're going to tell us the truth anyway. You know?
Yeah, now that there's like 4 movies later, you know, they'll just all connect it all. And who knows, they might have a huge spiderweb of plans. You know, I can't underestimate James Wan. He's been a part of the Fast and the Furious franchise. That's, you know, goes off in so many directions.
Well, you know, like I said, James Wan, he's not directing any more of the Conjurings or the spinoffs, but he's still involved. He's still a producer, because he's the one that kicked it all off.
Definitely.
That's his baby. And if people don't remember, guys, James Wan, who's ever watching this later, James Wan is also the director of Aquaman.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of your best superhero movies are actually directed by horror directors. Spider-Man's, Sam Raimi. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember the name of the director of Shazam of DC. The director of Shazam came from the horror world.
Yeah, and what's his face? Jeez, I was just about to say.
I know. It's hard to think when you're like thinking of them. But horror makers.
Zack Snyder too, of course. You know, with Dawn of the Dead.
Oh. You know, when they remade Dawn of the Dead, at first you're thinking, oh, you can't remake a masterpiece. And he did a fucking fantastic job.
For sure.
And I've heard so many, because his new movie, Army of the Dead, is coming out on Netflix, I think, this weekend. But it's contracted at a certain movie theaters. It's playing right now at the movie theaters, not on AMC. I think it's Cinemark, who they got a contract with. And man, I want to see it on the big screen, because everybody who's watching it they're all telling me that it's good.
And it's like an indirect sequel, I think, to Dawn of the Dead. Like, it's somehow connected to it, right?
Well, what I've heard is what's genius about this one is, so of course I haven't seen it. I'm trying to stay away from spoilers, but all the zombies they put in the Vegas area, and they're gonna blow. And the idea is they're gonna nuke Vegas. They're gonna kill all the zombies. So before they nuke it, they're hiring that wrestler actor from Guardians of the Galaxy, Bautista.
Yeah.
His group's going to go in there and steal $250 million from the vault. But they're going to blow up the place anyway. But the difference is in this movie is this time the zombies became smarter. They're like creating their own army.
Wow.
Inside it. Yeah, they're actually starting to think.
I'm super pumped for it, man. I found a cam version of it, but I need HD.
You just can't do zombies over and over. So apparently he did his style, and these zombies they're smarter. They know what they're doing. So, but I try to stay away from critics. I don't want to hear too much because, you know, even though it's a slapstick, we kind of know the storyline. You know, they get surrounded by zombies. They got to fight their way out. But I still don't want to hear too much about it. But let's see what else they got to say. These two people.
As that little child to create sympathy to these two young women, which it did. Now this was no longer a doll. This was a child. They would take it for rides. They talked to it. Mm-hmm. They'd buy clothing for it, jewelry. They treated it just as though it was that little girl who was killed, Annabelle. Now they were giving it a lot of recognition. Soon after the first seance, things would happen in their house. What we refer to as infestation. There would be knocking sounds. They'd see flashing lights in their bedroom at night, shooting across the room. The bed would shake a little bit. It would get icy cold. They'd hear whispering, which we call magic whispering. Now, from time to time, these girls would change shifts. But they were getting a little scared now. So they decided to stay on the same shift all the time, 4 to 12. They'd leave the doll in the bedroom. They'd come home after midnight, put the key in the door, unlock the door, and who do you think is standing there? The Raggedy Ann Doll.
Standing.
Now, that doll has flimsy legs. Mm-hmm. You try to stand it up, you can't. I've seen that doll stand. I've seen a lot of things happen around that doll. Well, this still didn't scare them. But one of the fiancés of one of the girls was against all of this. He said, burn the doll, throw it away, get rid of it. It's evil. Well, he falls asleep one afternoon, a Saturday. And the doll is in a chair not far from him. And the girls are cleaning up the apartment. Mm-hmm. He wakes up with a start. He said, my God, what a nightmare. He said, I dreamt that doll was strangling me. He had marks on his throat. Was it psychosomatic? Well, let's see. He gets up, he looks at the doll in the chair, picks it up, and throws it right across the room. You're nothing but a rag doll. You couldn't hurt anyone. With that, Tony, 7 psychic slashes appear on his body. Wow. Now, we've seen these kind of slashes. We've filmed them.
Now, the reason this doll fought back, because people got to remember this doll is possessed by a demon. Doll is not from a human form at all. It wasn't from a person dying. This is a demon. So I wonder, let me see here. I wonder if I can play what they call it from the movie. Let me see. Let me pull it here. Oh, no. Oh, I forgot. Oh, I took it off. I'll let you show that while I pull up that screen. You can show that again.
Yeah, no, I just show some of these scary faces because these might be linked to Bigfoot and the fairies, but just like the Warrens will tell you, it's not very far from demonic possession. That is the Florida skunk ape.
Okay, I got it right here. There we go. Okay, I'm going to share it. This now, guys, this is a little scene from the movie that I actually have at the end of my video, my music video that I created. But we can see here. Here we go.
Firstly, there's no such thing as Annabelle, and there never was.
Ghosts don't possess such power. I think what we have here is something extremely manipulative It's something inhuman.
It was a big mistake acknowledging this.
I'm gonna finish it. Inhuman. I actually haven't even, honestly, I have never heard that word like that. And inhuman. And I learned that from actually this movie. So she's gonna explain what's an inhuman is. Let me go back just a little bit. So I want you guys to hear this. Let me see.
It's something inhuman.
Inhuman.
It was a big mistake acknowledging this, though. And through that, the inhuman spirit tricked you. You gave it permission to infest your lives.
What's an inhuman spirit?
There we go.
It's something that's never walked the earth in human form. It's something demonic.
So the doll was never possessed.
No, it was used as a conduit. It was moved around to give the impression of possession. Demonic spirits don't possess things. They possess people. It wanted to get inside of you.
Now that's scary. So that's
scary.
like it's very cool because we think of the Exorcist and stuff. We think of everything of a person being possessed, but in this case, the doll, like she's saying, is just a conduit to get permission to get near you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not that the doll's possessed. Like that movie, the first Annabelle movie, where they shows that big black creature holding Annabelle, because Annabelle technically wasn't floating; it was like the demon picking it up and moving it.
Yep.
So
It's
that was
beyond our eyes and ears. It's frequencies. These demons exist. They show up in shivers. And the one director of Shazam was David Sandberg. He made Lights Out, and then he also made Annabelle Creations. Yeah, that's
it exactly. And horror people, man, they make good movies. I'm not sure. I think wasn't also the director of Ant-Man used to do some horror movies?
I'll have to look it up. I'm sure, though, we all get our start in horror films.
It does. And the reason why a lot of people hire horror people is because they know how to make a movie with low budgets. Mm-hmm. And you give these people a little higher budgets, but not to go over this amount, and they can make it even a better movie with lower costs. They know how. It's like they can't use CGI like most big, huge studios, and the reason to hire them because they have to learn how to do it with practical, which, in my opinion, practical effects are better than CGI.
That's a lot of the time.
Yeah. So let's hear more.
These slashes come from nowhere. The blood came right through his shirt. The nurses witnessed this. Then a huge chair rolled across the room. Pictures on the walls came off, started smashing and breaking. Loud pounding sounds. Now they were all frightened. They called the High Episcopal Canon in Hartford, Connecticut. He called Father Richard Nolan, an exorcist, and Father Nolan called us. We went to the apartment. Exorcism was performed immediately over the people, the three people, and the apartment. I brought that doll back to my museum. Now, why would I have something like that in a museum? Evidence, proof. The skeptics, the atheists, the first thing they attack you with is, where's the evidence? Where's the proof? This never happened. I not only have the doll, I have film, I have recordings, I have eyewitness accounts from credible people who have seen these phenomena happen in and around that doll. A priest comes to my home one day, young fellow, has his rectory right here in Connecticut. Ed, I'd like to take you and Lorraine for a ride in my new car. Very proud of it. We went with him. When he took us back, he said, what about this doll everybody's talking about? Because we'd shown it on Channel 18, on a TV show we're on. Could I see it? I understand it puts slashes on people. I brought him into the museum. It's in a chair. He looks at it. Just like the guy in Hartford. He walks right over to it, never said a word, picked it up and threw it right across the room. God is more powerful than a devil. I said, yes, Father. God is more powerful than millions of devils. But he wasn't. He found that out. Less than an hour later, driving home on Route 84, his brand new car went out of control. I know what he's talking about because the same thing happened to Lorraine and I when we talked about Amityville one time. on Route 84. You can't control the car. Half of his car was sheared off by a tractor-trailer truck. He should have been killed, but he lived. God will only let the devil go so far. The last thing he remembers seeing was the image of that doll. Well, then a detective comes to our house. We're working on the murder of a little child. Lorraine often helps the police through her clairvoyance. I through my knowledge of ritual magic murders. After we're through, he said, Ed, could I go out to the museum there and look around? Sure, I brought him out. Now, this is a homicide detective. You were a cop. These guys are tough guys. They're used to seeing grisly sights, right?
Mm-hmm.
He looks around and he said, you know, of all the things in this building here, that doll there, I can't take my eyes off of it, the Raggedy Ann. It was still in the chair. Just then, the phone rang. It was a personal call. I told him I'd be right back, not to touch anything in that building.
Mm-hmm.
Everything in there was wholly unblessed.
And he touched it.
Well, I'm up there talking on the phone. I wasn't even there 10 minutes. When all of a sudden, I hear him coming up the stairs. This guy is a big guy, 6'2", 6'3", over 200 pounds, all muscle, used to seeing grisly sights. He's shaking. He can't hardly talk. I thought he was having a heart attack. I sat him down. I was going to call an ambulance. There was no 911 then. Called an ambulance, said, no, Ed, it's not that. I said, what's wrong? I just don't want to talk about it. He was embarrassed. Lorraine walked in. He looks at Lorraine. He said, I'll talk to Lorraine about it. I don't want her to ever mention it again. She didn't have to. I knew what he did. I went back down into the building. Everything was knocked over. He had picked up the doll. He had picked up that inanimate object. Its aura mingled with his aura. And something so terrible occurred to that man that he resigned from the police department 3 months later. But that's not the end. We had a group
It's almost
of
the end of the
college
show. We're almost out of time. So
We're almost out of time.
if you could
Well,
quickly end that one.
A group of college students came one day. One of them said there's nothing but a bunch of bunk. I don't believe in it. He went over to the Raggedy Ann Doll, which is in a case, knocking on it. He said, this doll can't do anything. I dare it right now to put slashes on me. I put him out of the building. Less than 3 hours later, that boy was dead. His girlfriend, who had been with him on a motorcycle, said he was laughing about the doll, smashed into a tree, head on, was killed instantly. His girlfriend was in a hospital for over a year.
That's
You
unbelievable.
don't challenge devils. I think we got a picture of it.
That's
Raggedy Ann
unbelievable.
there.
Yeah, I think we do.
Mhm.
somewhere.
Oh, is there a picture? A
While
picture
we're
of
showing this, I think we'd like to tell the website address, wouldn't we?
Yes.
If we could pan in on this here.
Yeah, that's
This will show
Annabelle.
the Annabelle. So why don't you give the website address, Larry?
Okay. www.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. I mean, it could have just been coincidence, crashing on a motorcycle, but I mean, it is. I mean, you never know, right? I mean, you really don't know. Was it Annabelle demon that caused him to wreck?
Yes, I think it was. The very first line in my book, coincidence is the only thing to never exist in this world. It's all connected. It's all connected, man. And 100%, he disrespected the higher spirit, and look what happened. And I like that story about how God only let the devil go so far as well, though.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's God. The whole thing is just so interesting because what is it? The priest had something happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
The cop who froze up. Actually, I thought it was the. Oh no, he said okay. You're right. The priest guy is one that lost control of the car. Okay, and then the kid was on a motorcycle. Okay. I'm trying to see the real Annabelle. I'm trying to draw images. Let me try to find out some images here.
I sent a StreamYard link to one of my friends
that.
who's an expert on demons and Hatman too. So if he joins on the StreamYard, he's just a high-level expert on the dark forces and dark entities. So if he mysteriously appears in the back room, that's where he is.
Okay. I see the link you sent. I thought that was maybe a link here.
No, the one I sent is of a haunted doll of mine, but I also sent my buddy our link, just so if he joins in, just keep an eye out on the StreamYard.
Yeah, I'll pull that up. Of course, this is a picture of Lorraine at her house. Of course, she passed away just recently.
She lived a long life, and she helped many people.
Yeah, you know, I forgot who she looked like because there was a TV series. It was during the time of Ghost Hunters in the beginning. State Paranormal, no State. You know what I'm talking about? State Paranormal, because she was a guest appearance on a paranormal show.
Oh wow!
Where I've
probably seen clips of it.
Yeah, a college kid from Pennsylvania College, and she would be a guest appearance on being the medium on the show. And God, I hate when you know the name and you just can't name it. It's gonna hurt me now not knowing. So let me pull up your link. Let me click on your link here.
Yeah. I'll give you the background story. It's a haunted doll named Sasha, and I wrote about it in my first book, Eerie Swamps Road Trip to Eden. It's in my family and friends chapter. I'll read this, and then I also narrate in the video, so you'll get some information too. But Adriana was fond of dolls. As a young child, she collected porcelain ones. One particular doll that she liked was her musical doll that wore a green dress with brown hair tied in a neat bun. She came with her own stand, and she was always sitting down rather than other dolls who would be standing. She was musical tuner attached to her back, which would make her sway from side to side. Days turned to weeks when Adriana noticed that downtime it would move on its own. Not too noticeably, the doll would be in a different position in the morning. Doll would always be facing Adriana when she woke up. Adriana noticed that on nights that she stayed up late, the doll would suddenly begin to play music, and each morning the doll would be facing her no matter what position Adriana would put her in. The fondness she felt for the doll turned to wariness as she had a hard time avoiding the doll's stare. She then made a decision to lock the doll away so that she could sleep again peacefully. And now it has gone so far that she has tried to sell the doll. And my buddy from Induced Fear, Oscar, is actually trying to buy it, and he's going to give it to haunted pickers. So this doll, Sasha, is taking a life of its own. But yeah, I sent you the video so people can get their eyes on it and maybe see her in the flesh. And I've seen her move. I refused to touch her, and I did not want to buy her. And it was just very interesting having my own haunted doll experience. And, you know, I've collected bobbleheads and figurines my whole life, and I work at a comic book store full of dolls and figures. So it is wild knowing that these things can get inside of them, and they're inhumane, man. They've never walked this face of the earth in human form. So no wonder they irk our skin.
Yep. I get it up. I had a fast, you know, commercials. I don't think nobody wants to see commercials. So I had to get the commercials off. There we go. There we go. Hey, let's give this a like. I haven't watched this yet, but I'll give it.
And look at the views and the dislikes and stuff too. It's very weird. It got like 5.7 thousand views overnight. Hasn't got much since, and got a bunch of weird comments and dislikes and likes. I don't know if this got posted on a Reddit forum or it got taken over by spiritual entities itself, but whoa, you know that even the numbers and analytics are weird.
I know. It probably got on Reddit because everybody on Reddit, man, they just attack you like nothing. Because, you know, I have a Reddit page, and I put a lot of your stuff actually on my Reddit page.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah. Yeah, so
this might have been it. It might have been on your Reddit page, and then thousands of people saw it. 5.7 thousand overnight were looking for this haunted doll.
Oops, let me go back here. Hold on, let me remove a second. Yeah, so guys, if you guys want the best Reddit page is actually mine because I put everybody on here. Because actually, if you look, my last two I put up is the new Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, and look who we got on the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Sasquatch space photograph. So like I said, every time you put out a video, I try to capture it right away, and I get it up here. So if anybody's watching this, if you forget how to get to Bigfoot's channel, just go to my Reddit too, and he's all over here. I mean, there's so many on here, but
It'll be right there. That's awesome, man. I definitely appreciate that. Thanks for spreading the word.
Yeah. And since I started Reddit with my own page about a month, about 3 weeks ago, I kind of started it. Got up to 166 members, so it's growing.
Heck yeah.
Like I said, I put my friends on there, UFOs and stuff. But let's get back to your video. So I just wanted people to know that you can actually look for his channel even through my Reddit page too. And then of course when you watch it, you click on it, go to his YouTube page, and boom, you can sign up through there too. So let me go back.
Daily investigations and cool cursed films and wild stories all the time.
Here we go.
Honor for Bigfoot Anonymous, and I'm here with Sasha, the porcelain doll. Some of you guys might remember the story from my Letters from Family and Friends chapter and the end of Eerie Swamps from my friend Adriana, but Yuki has had a plethora of experiences with this porcelain doll. It randomly plays music in the middle of the night. It will shift its body towards you, and its head will always seem to be following you when you're in its room. The other night, it actually said, "Nighty night, Adriana." And that was the final straw. So right now, we're looking to get rid of this porcelain doll to someone that could give it a safe home, someone that's interested in purchasing paranormal objects. We need it to go to a pure place, someone that is stable enough to handle it. This is no joke, and it's very important. Thank you.
Ah, that's cool. That's cool. So do you think your doll, is it maybe haunted or like a demon, or do you think it's a regular like a normal haunting that's not really too much to worry about?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of mixed in the air because the people that brought me the doll, there are some interesting folk. They came from Mexico. They lived all across the desert. So they might have came across some skinwalker, some bad voodoo or juju. So it might have been taken over, but I think they said they got it from a Goodwill or some used thrift store. So it could just have some kind of strangeness attached to it, and just vibrations. It just is a catalyst to make weird anomalies around it. I don't know if it's a demon, or I don't know if it's just, a weird object that maybe can manipulate things around it. But I definitely felt goosebumps when it was around me. It was in my store for less than 5 minutes, and it definitely stirred the pot up. And I'm sure the girls at the barbershop with the bad hauntings and the poltergeist over there, they might have had some more effect that night too. So I can't answer it firsthand. If it was a demon, you would think it. I would think it would have made more of an impact on me. It really just creeps me out. So I don't think it was a demon in that one. I think it's more just strangeness, and maybe the person that made it left some intent in it, and just the fact that it's a music box that gives it a voice. And wow, anything can, a song speaks 1,000 words.
And everybody, I just put that video also on my Reddit page too. So I just put it on there too for people. So actually, I since we were talking about directors, I actually pulled up an article here. Says here, 10 best horror directors of the 21st century so far.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I thought it'd be interesting because, since we're talking about directors, of course. Let me see. Number 10 is Karen Kazuma. Don't really. The Invitation. Oh, okay.
Invitation was so good, and Upgrade was so good too. Two of my favorite movies in the past decade.
And Jennifer's Body don't get enough credit.
100%.
It does not get enough credit. It's great. I think that's one of I forgot the actress who plays the Transformer girl.
Megan Fox, yeah,
Megan
Machine
Fox.
Gun Kelly, my brother from Cleveland. He's wifing her up. You know, I feel like that's part of me, man. I'm proud.
And come on, guys, who did not like that scene of her kissing the other girl? Come on,
right?
Come on.
MGK wears a necklace with a vial of her blood around his neck, so she's real life dark.
Robert Eggers. His debut was The Witch.
The Witch. Black Phillip, man. That's one of the scariest movies ever. The 1800s, New England, famine. Oh, man. It's some spooky stuff. And then they actually hired a goat. I just wrote about him in my Goat Man chapter, Black Phillip. And they had a bunch of scenes planned, but the goat was actually like acting really bad on set. So it's another cursed film. And the last scene in that movie is spooky.
Yeah, I remember. Now, actually, I have not yet watched The Lighthouse. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's here. If people don't know what we're talking about, let me show you guys images of The Witch.
Yeah, The Lighthouse was awesome as well. There's mermaids, Robert Pattinson, William Dafoe. It's all black and white. You know, you're on the
I don't know why I haven't watched it.
Reality. Yeah, you should watch it tonight, man.
There's like so many movies, you know, and then it's like there's 2 horror movies that came out this weekend. Yeah, you got Army of the Dead, and you got that the new Saw type of movie, which I've never really been a super huge Saw fan, but you know, I'll eventually go see it just to see it.
Right. The first 2 or 3 were so good, and then it went a little weird, but they all connect.
You're right. I like the first 2. The third one, I got in the middle of it, and then I never went back to the franchise. But yeah, the first 2. But of course, yeah, the witch is that sound that I remember that horror sound they put in that movie to really kick it. So that's cool. That's
the very first scene. How she's playing peekaboo with the baby, peekaboo, peekaboo, and then she looks one time, and then the baby's gone. Like that's perfectly made, man. Jordan Peele.
Yeah, he's kind of an easy one. Get Out, of course, Get Out, and then of course Us, and he's also the host of the newer Twilight Zone on CBS All Access.
I think he has something to do with the new Candyman movie too, so I'm very excited about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Clive Barker or the Clive Barker book and the remake. Yeah, I keep seeing the previews, and it just sucks because with the pandemic, everything got pushed back. I remember seeing the previews of it almost like a year ago. Yeah. But the movie keeps getting pushed back, and Candyman's always been creepy, so I'm kind of curious to see his version of Candyman.
100%. Every time I go to the bathroom, I always thought of Candyman.
Of course, James Wan. I mean, James Wan actually did the first Saw, which makes sense. And I love his Insidious, just like The Conjuring. His Insidious is so fucking cool because they took Insidious and they took you into the other side.
It's one of the scariest movies ever.
Well, it's just the weird, like the weird music in it, the weirdness in it. That's right. I forgot that he did Dead Silence. Yeah,
that's a fun one too. That's one of the early like blockbuster family video movies.
And he did one of the Fast and the Furious, like you said. I think he did maybe 6 or 7 or one. Yeah, let me see here. The Conjuring, of course. The Conjuring is his, and then Ari Aster. Well,
Midsummer and Hereditary.
Yeah. I won't say too much on this guy because one of the things you got is on. I know a lot of people who love Midsummer, and I got nothing to say about Midsummer. For me, I hate to say it, I hated Midsummer. I'm probably one of the weird ones. I did not like Midsummer. I'm serious. I did not like it.
It was over. Like, see, I've researched that kind of stuff, so it doesn't like mind blow me, So to me, it was just like, man, this is just a messed up camp. I've researched cults.
I remember I remember at the end of the movie when the if you guys haven't seen it, who gives a shit? Where they're burning the farm, you got to sacrifice. You know, they ask for volunteers to go in there. I remember telling the wife, "God damn, I wish I could volunteer to go in there because I would have walked out." It wasn't like it was super bad, but there was a scene in the movie that threw me out. Is where they drug up this kid. He's like all fucked up and drugged up, and there's like a naked girl they wanted his seed. I guess you want to say to plant into this woman. And then they're all singing. And then while he's all drugged up, he's on top of this girl, and this old lady is behind him and pushing his ass. And I'm just like, I can't take it serious because they're singing. He's on drugs. Somehow he could get it up, and an old woman was pushing him. It was just like, okay, this is too much. This is just too much.
It was weird, but that was how it was supposed to be. It was supposed to make you feel like crawling again.
I mean,
you know,
I didn't mind Hereditary. You know, that was decent.
His movies are called elevated horror, so it's supposed to hit you at like a different level.
Yeah.
So, but Hereditary is awesome. How it has all the markings and the cult planned it all. Like, oh my gosh! And then they had to get Payman, the demon, and they had to behead 3 girls to activate him. Spooky.
Then Andy Muschietti, we see he did. Mama was a 3-minute short film because I haven't seen that. What does he do here? Mama gave Muschietti enough leverage to direct his own hits. It chapter. Oh wow, he did It chapter 1 and 2. Wow, wow.
He's the guy that made Mama. Is that what it said?
It just said, yeah, Mama was a 3-minute short film.
Oh, must not be the one horror movie that I was thinking about.
So I guess that 3-minute caught the intention with Guillermo del Toro, who ended up producing a feature film adaptation of the same name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So del Toro did something with Mama, and then, but wow, but to be able to go from a 3-minute film, getting the eye del Toro, go straight into It chapter 1 and 2. That's a fucking jump because I like It chapter 1 better than It chapter 2 because It chapter 1 did such a great job, like a Stranger Things meets Stand By Me, and that movie's so perfect. And now part 2, they're older. Maybe that's why they didn't have the same magic of the first one because the first one had that Stranger Things and Stand By Me kind of a feeling to it. But for him to walk into something that big, wow. That's
Mama was a good one too. When the 2 girls are like in the woods, and then the 2 parents come and like are taking care of them. The Nicholas Wesser from Game of Thrones is in it, and that was his first like big break on the film screen. Yeah,
a 3-minute movie. You know, sometimes I guess that's all you need. Yeah, it says here. I'm trying to pull up Mama because I never. I got to be honest, I never heard of it. So you actually
you probably saw it years ago, but it's just one of those names that so cliche that it kind of blends in.
Yeah,
but it was pretty famous.
Film. Director debut based on. Well, it sounds like he kind of went in the same rope as Sam Raimi when Evil Dead. There was a short film that Sam Raimi did, and it got picked up bigger money. He made Evil Dead, and then of course, the studio liked what he did, and they gave him more money, and he did Evil Dead 2. So it's like baby steps into the big game. So that's cool. That's cool. So let me see here. Okay, so we got him, and of course, number 4 is Andre Overdell. Andre did found footage horror. Okay, the film, fresh comedic take on a found film. Hold on. With the Troll Hunter, the follow group start talking directly. Troll hunting. Oh, Troll
Hunter is so good. Have you seen Troll Hunter yet?
Troll Hunter, is that the cartoon?
No, it's like a found footage film when they're they're over in Europe. And they're hunting monsters that are like, trolls that are giants. They're miles tall and like 200 feet tall. And it is awesome. And it's found footage and it's super realistic. It's very scary too. You should definitely check it out.
Yeah. I'm typing in. I pulled up IMDb because I don't know why I've never heard of this one too, but this is why I like doing these kind of shows because you learn so much. Like, oh, I gotta check that out. But pretty soon, there's so many things to check out. Hey, Don H is here. Hey, Don, I saw that you left the message at 10 a.m. because usually I do my show at 10 a.m. So, Don, I apologize. But don't worry, Don. Thursday is back to 10 a.m. I had some things I had to do this morning. So, I have to change times. But, it is what it is. But here, let me share IMDb. I want to look up Troll Hunters. But everything is running. Okay, here we go.
It's Troll Hunters is the animated one, but yeah, it's Troll Hunter, of course. But you found it.
Yeah, but everything is running slow on this computer. I wonder why. I don't have that many tabs up. Troll Hunter. Let me see here. Troll Hunter. Troll Hunters. Is it Troll Hunters or Troll Hunter?
Troll Hunter, yeah.
Let's see here. Is that it right there?
Yeah. It got 7.0. Yeah, that's solid. Yeah, it's all about Scandinavian folklore.
Oh, watch on Prime Video. Oh, it says it's on Prime Video, and I have Prime Video.
Yeah, it's always been a streamer one. You're gonna love it, man. It's incredible. There's another one called Frankenstein Chronicles. I'm pretty sure. They go and find the original Frankenstein, and that it's similar. Troll Hunter's better, of course. It's a 7.0 on IMDb. That's up there with The Descent.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna have to check that out. I went to the movies. I actually seen Autopsy of Jane Doe, and that was pretty cool.
Heck yeah, that was one of the scariest movies I've seen in recent time. Like, watch that in a dark room or a scary movie theater, and you put yourself in that father-son combo, that movie is freaky, man. They start finding that ancient carvings under her skin. Oh, my gosh.
Now this last one, you probably did one of them. I didn't really care too much. I saw this scary stories to tell in the dark. I actually went to the movie theater. I think that movie could have been better if it was rated R. With the PG-13, it wasn't as scary as it could have been.
Right. They still were ruthless though, because pretty much all the kids ended up dying. I think they're gonna end up they're gonna come back. They're in like a middle world somehow.
If they would have done it rated R, I think it would have done it for me. Now, of course, number 3 is Ron Zombie. Now, Ron Zombie has taken a lot of shit from people. I like his movie. I think he took a lot of shit just because of his version of Halloween. Hey, he took the swing. People didn't really enjoy his Halloween. I mean, hey, hey, he took a swing. He made it a little different. I understand the arguments because people like Michael Myers not knowing why he was so messed up, and of course, in Ron Zombie's version. Kind of showed you why Michael Myers is so fucked up because the mom's a stripper, the family's fucked up. And I think people eat a crap for that because people like the mystery of not knowing why somebody's crazy. But I will say, for me, I enjoy his sequel better than Halloween 2. Now, John Carpenter didn't direct Halloween 2. He still produced and wrote it, but I actually enjoy Ron Zombie's sequel better than the John Carpenter sequel. That is just me. But of course, the original Halloween by John Carpenter is the king of all. And actually, guys, this Thursday show is on Michael Myers. Now it's not just Michael Myers from the movie. It's about if you look at the notes for Thursday's show, it's about, is Michael Myers supernatural? Is he does he have powers? I mean, is there something more that we're not seeing? So that's going to be the discussion for Thursday. Is not just the movie itself. What is Michael Myers? I mean, guy gets shot 5 times off a window and he's not dead. So what is he? Is he supernatural? Is he like I guess you could say, is he a mutant? Maybe Early Mutant. So that's Friday, people. I mean, that's
Is
Thursday.
he a Bigfoot? He
And
might be.
could be. And guys, and that's going to be Thursday at 10 a.m. We will be back at 10 a.m. So here, Gil del Toro. Of course, we all know that Hellboy, Blade 2 was badass. Pan's Labyrinth is badass. The Shape of Water, it was different. I mean, it actually won an Oscar for Best Picture.
Yeah, and you know, me and you are both, Creature from the Black Lagoon fans, so hey, I loved it.
Yeah. Hey, the girl made love to it.
It was a beautiful story. Yeah, the way the water went up when they were in the tub. Beautiful.
It was totally different, and I give the Oscars credit for being ballsy, because usually Oscars don't like anything that deals with horror. Now, this is a different kind of a horror movie. It's more of a not documentary, a drama horror, but still took balls to make it an Oscar movie. So I'll give them credit for that.
For sure.
And then number 1, here we go. Mike Flanagan.
Heck yeah. Haunting of Hill House and Hush. And what's awesome is he's married to the main character in Hush, Katie Seagal, and she's in Haunting of the Hill House. The newest, The Bly Manor, he made that. He made the Ouija sequel, the prequel, and of course that one, the second Ouija movie, was so much better than the original one.
Yeah.
So many people didn't even see the second one because the first one was so bad. And then Mike Flanagan comes in. He's a genius. I'm pretty sure he made Dr. Sleep as well.
Yeah, Dr. Sleep I wasn't a fan of. But yeah. I remember I wasn't going to watch the sequel, exactly what you said. And then somebody said, God, Ouija board 2 is actually better than the first one. And then I remember I went and saw it and said, yeah, actually it is better than the first one.
All of Mike Flanagan's films are good and scary. I highly recommend them. And in Haunting of the Hill House, there's 41 ghosts that are in the background of the whole season that you're only the good eye will catch. So he is the master of Easter eggs and true horror.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you're right. He is. No, he did the sequel to Dr. Sleep. You're right. That continues the story of Stanley The Shining. Okay. So I'm surprised that they didn't have a 21st century. I guess Sam Raimi hasn't done a horror movie in the 21st century. I guess he really hasn't been doing horror movies at all lately. I'm trying to remember what was the last horror movie that Sam Raimi did. I know he did the one Going to Hell, or the one with the voodoo.
Not Drag Me to Hell, right?
Drag Me to Hell. Where the put a curse. That's right. Okay, that's not a bad list. There was something else on here that sounded interesting. Jordan Peele gets out. Where is it? Best horror movies ranked. Oh, A24. Yeah, because A24, that's the company that does the lot of the horror that style, the Midsummer style. Yeah, I noticed that they do that style.
Yeah, the movies that just don't make any sense and they just last forever, and you're like, oh man, it's good, but there's a bunch of weird movies coming out. But hey, I appreciate them. They all can't be as cool as Hoodman and Zillafoot,
Well, hey, horror movies and all. And that was just horrible. I mean, I was like, what the fuck? This movie is, what is this? 10 best nut horror films by horror directors.
I think Neil Marshall should have been on there because he made The Descent, Dog Soldiers, The Reckoning. He just made a new movie too. I'm trying to think of what it is. I'm looking it up.
What is this? What does this say here? Wes Craven's 10 most underrated movies. Huh. What movies consider underrated? I'm always curious. Chillers, 1985. I don't remember that one. Some of Fear, 1978. Shocker. Oh, I like Shocker. Yeah, Shocker
Yeah.
is very underrated. That movie is underrated. I'll give that one. I'll give that one up. Deadly Friends. I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've seen that one. God, there's just so many horror movies. It is hard. Deadly Blessings. I don't think I've seen that one.
Seeing mass like lists like this, like me and you've seen so many movies. Like we get into like, oh, we've seen everything. Nope, we haven't. Clearly, there's 10 movies, or at least 5 movies here that we haven't even sniffed that made it onto a special list of Wes Craven. Swamp Thing.
Yeah,
he made that movie himself. Craven. We talked about that before.
I like Swamp Thing. I like Swamp Thing. Red Eye. I've seen this, but I can't remember
I like
if
Red
I
Eye.
liked it or not.
Cillian Murphy, yeah, he bullies her and like manipulates Rachel McAdams on a plane, and he threatens her family and stuff. He's trying to get money and stuff. Oh, it was wild. And when you're on that red eye in the plane, you're vulnerable.
Yeah. Oh, was this? Oh, some people are here now. Try to watch Haggis, which is slow burn witchcraft movie. Too scary for me. Hi, Don. I was wondering who linked this channel, and now I know. Oh, what was this here? Isn't he Tom Tucker, news anchor from The Family Guy? Huh. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't looking at the chat. I was actually on the page moving this up and down. So I apologize. I didn't get to your question. So I don't know which one is Tom Tucker, the news anchor Family Guy. What is this? Did he have one this evening? There. People under the stairs. I remember this one. This one was crazy.
That's what the little things that crawl into the vents, right? My mom was always like terrified of this movie.
The crawls to the vent. Yeah, I'm trying to. I just remember they were wearing the leather. Here, if I can. I think this is the leather. Well, I'm here. Let me type in. Let me go to Go and type in image to make sure I know which one I'm talking about. Oh, here we go. The people under the stairs. I remember they're wearing leather. Let me see images. Let me pull it up. Let me see. And there's people trapped. There's like people trapped under the stairs.
I think they remade it, right? And Katie Holmes was in it, I'm pretty sure. She dies like a vicious ass death.
Yeah, there's people trapped. People under the stairs.
I saw your comment on She Squatchers too. You should definitely try to get as a guest on that show.
Yeah, awesome. They've been on my channel 3 times.
Yeah, really?
They're great. They're awesome.
Wow.
Yeah, they've been on my channel 3 times. When I saw you on there, I'm like, oh, that's cool because these Sea Squatchers aren't your average. They research Bigfoot, but they were in the paranormal before they were looking for Bigfoot. So they bring in the paranormal with it because some of them have they're like mediums a little bit. So they sense Bigfoot. So you know what? Since you want to come on, what I'm going to try to do is get with the Sea Squatchers. I got their emails and all that. Like I said, they've been on my channel 3-4 times, and maybe I could get all of us on.
Yeah, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome, man.
They're great.
And the Sasquatch community is really bumping on YouTube, and you and your brother cover paranormal and Sasquatch pretty much weekly. So that'd be awesome to combine communities, because you guys have a really special community going on, and they have a big thing going on, and not all of it is all smiles and cheers either. But it would be nice to combine worlds.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's the idea of us doing this, where we don't want to talk about the same thing over and over and over. I know a lot of people connect us with Mandela effects, but Mandela effects is just one part of it. That's kind of a mystery of itself. Paranormal has always been my number one thing that I always loved. And I've said this a lot on my other channel that paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs, Mandela effects, whatever, it's all related. It's all connected. Everything is connected. I mean, I know some people people were hardcore in the Mandela effect saying it's not connected to paranormal. I go, yes, it is connected to the paranormal. I go, what? Just what? That's not paranormal,
Right.
I mean, I've always said, and the answers that we're looking for is in the paranormal. Talking to the ghosts, getting with ghosts and trying to speak to them is answers that I know the answers are there.
Yep.
But now, like I said, if you're a religious person, if you're a person that's very religious and stuff, then if you believe in God, if you believe in the devil, then why can't you believe in the paranormal?
Right.
I mean, if you die and your body goes up to heaven or hell or is trapped on earth, then you should be able to believe in it. And if you're between heaven and hell and you're stuck in limbo on earth, there might be answers there that we're looking for.
And hasn't anybody dreamed before? Like, dude, there's things beyond our explanation. Like, energy is never created nor destroyed. We've always existed. Like, there's UFOs in the sky. The government is now already came out and said that. And I'll tell you right now that Bigfoot exists and fairies are real, fairy tales. We all spell words and we put teeth under our pillows. You know, that's sacrifice, magic, rituals. Come on, guys. We don't have to have dowsing rods to be magic. This has to be one of your next gear pickups too. Get a relationship with some metal rods. You can determine if it says yes or no. It can lead you to some answers. It's very magical.
And what I love by studying about Bigfoot is we really don't have answers. What is an actual Bigfoot? Is he just another form of an animal? Or some people believe that Bigfoot was put here from somewhere else in the galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or some people believe Bigfoot's from the past or from the future. That's the beautiful thing is we don't know.
And all we can do is dig into it. I remember our very first show together was, is Bigfoot an extraterrestrial visitor? And then we went into the Matrix.
Well, because
Ogopogo.
Because
Nessie.
If Bigfoot exists, and we both believe he does, then Bigfoot is one of the smartest, intelligent animals out there, because if he exists, he outsmarts us, he outsmarts people, because we have yet, I hate using the word capture. It's like we want to capture him like an animal. No, we want to be friends with it. Of course, we do. Of course, government would take him away and tie him up because they want to use him as a weapon. But if you're able to get to Bigfoot, well, things that we can learn from it, right?
Right. They are the bridge to our creator. You know, they can control the forest. So they would give us all the insight we need on all the information. And the blood that they have discovered and the DNA that they have discovered, it always comes back unknown male. So it's from the skies, and then human female DNA. And it's came back Native American, Asian, African. So something is mating with our women and creating these hybrid creatures of the forest. So no wonder they're more intelligent than us, because they've been around in pure for just as long as us, or if not longer. So yeah, the answer starts in the forest, and that's where all these roots of these movies start. Troll Hunter, you know, Shrek, The Grinch. It's all Bigfoot. It's all fairy tales. And we have to look inside. You know, the fairy tale starts every night when we fall asleep. We dream.
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's all related. Every bit of it's related. And guys,
here's a picture of when I was born. The very first day, August 28th, 1992. Ain't that crazy? That's some Mandela effect crap. I've been going through pictures. We just went through storage, and I found hundreds of pictures that I'm going to be putting in my book. And here's some grapes, my dab rig. Man, it's just good times down here in Florida swamps.
Wow, you're born 1992.
Yeah. August 28th, 1992. I love looking at the websites that you can see what the movies were in, you know, what the top record in the country was, what movies were in theaters when you were born. Like, it's so cool.
I feel so old because 1992 I graduated high school.
Wow, that's awesome. Man, isn't that a beautiful thing? Like, when I graduated high school, you know, someone beautiful and was being born, you know, and then one day I'll chop it up with them and they'll teach me things, and then I'll teach they'll teach me things, I'll teach them things. We'll bounce off one another. Like, it's a beautiful thing, just thinking that, wow, like this world is expanding in every day, you know, knowledge.
92, of course, that's when I remember like Robin Hood would came out. Terminator 2 was in 91, 92. Music wise, ska music was actually hitting it big.
Yeah.
With even punk, like Green Day, No Doubt, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. I remember ska was actually made a cool, not a comeback, but ska was actually on the radio. I never thought I'll see the day that ska punk would actually hit the radio. So that's cool. That's cool. And then everybody, like I said, this Thursday on Horror Talk, and I'll be making my music video for this too. Like I said, it's gonna be it's a little different. It is, yes, it is the Halloween movies, but like I said, if you read my title, Halloween, is Michael Myers supernatural or what? And basically, my goal is to dig into it to find out, John Carpenter, what did he get him from a story from the past or somewhere, or what makes this man special? So that's going to be neat. And then, of course, tomorrow on my other channel, like I said, people, we're going to be talking about EVPs. And I went and bought myself an EVP. And we're going to be doing live EVPs on the channel, on the show itself, to see maybe we get a voice recording. I don't know. And, of course, I got some clips from other people on video clips. So tomorrow's show on the Gypsy Road channel is more of a mess around kind of a show. It's not going to be 100% serious. We're going to try to talk to a ghost. And if anybody, Dawn, I don't know if you remember this, when we did a show on the Gypsy Road channel where we met Belle, Paranormal from Belle, said, "Hey, Eric, who's that person standing behind you?" She was watching it through the camera. I remember she was mentioning something about it's a guy, but in a woman's outfit. And what was so cool about that was my brother, who transitioned into a woman, passed away like 6 months prior. So when she said that, who's that like woman guy behind you, could have been my brother, because he died in my room. So that was kind of cool. And she's been on the show, Medium. So discovery is always fun. So beyond that, guys, I know we went a little extra long, but sometimes it's just fun. It's just
If I could join tomorrow, I will. My good buddy Tristan, he is a part of Hidden Relief. It's a new paranormal crew. We just investigated Torrance State Park the other day. I know he's going to be off work for the next few days because someone at his work got the virus. But if he's available, maybe I'll send him your way and you guys can link together, because he has some great information, and it would just be cool for all of our worlds to collide, like the She Squatchers and Gypsy Road, Bigfoot Anon, Big Bob overseas. Lots going on. It's beautiful things, and
it's awesome.
I'm just happy to be a part of it.
Fun. I know. I got to get the Witch Goddess back on my channel. She's fantastic too. I don't know if we had early shows in the past with the Witch Goddess, and this woman is just terrific. I want to get everybody on, get everybody from different communities, and I'll come in and share, because you're so right. That's the problem with a lot of communities. They're staying in their own communities, and we're not cross-referencing what we learn in different communities. If we cross-reference stories together, I think we could get farther into what we're looking for in life.
Right. And I think that's why you and I do great, just because we dig into mythology and film and real life experiences, and then just everywhere else we can research. So it's a beautiful thing, and we have to watch out, man. The dolls that are on our shelves might have to, stab us in our night and in our neck.
Well, Hollywood films. You're right, because people make fun of Hollywood films, but they don't understand a lot of these Hollywood films, these writers get these stories from somewhere. And these stories, they come up with these stories, but sometimes they come from somewhere. And it's fun discovering where these stories come from. What is the meaning of it? And that's where you get to the bottom of a lot of things. So beyond that, guys, I had a great time. I want to thank everybody who's going to be watching this later. And Thursday, we'll be back to normal, 10 a.m. Beyond that, I'll see everybody later. Have a good night.
Peace out, guys. Check out Erie Swamp Road.
Sorry about that.
No, good. No.
Oh, show your book again?
Perfect timing. No. Road Trip to Eden, Erie Swamps. You guys have heard me reference it on the show before. It's like my diary of paranormal exploration from Lake Erie down to the Florida swamps. Ends in the Garden of Eden. And it's got many stories of Bigfoot, haunted dolls, cursed films, and just wild adventures of living out of my car. Now I'm in Florida in the swamp right by the Ocheesee Pond, and I'm seeking out answers, and I love being on the Gypsy Road and Horror Talk. Even when it's past midnight, 12:30 at night, and I got to work in the morning. But, dude, this lives forever, and I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm going to pop in from the comic book store. It's going to be history. So
hey, why
I'm
not?
looking forward to it.
So beyond that, guys, I'll see everybody later. See you guys all later. Good night.
Peace, guys.